we're joining. See you.
See the camera. The Corona's apple.
Huh? Oh, okay. I was like, which apple are we looking at? I mean, I can just.
I know. It's like,
Could help if everything was plugged in. Ooh, there we go.
you see the slideshow now?
Yeah, we see him. I don't know if, yeah.
So yeah, I can toggle back and forth.
We just need to make, obviously we need to test it and make sure that it's.
The participant is able to see that.
Right.
Now it's going to be that 30-second delay though. Not with the sound, just the sound goes to the.
So at what point are you going to switch from me to the first slide?
That's where, if you want to give me like a,
Because it's going to stay on me for 30 seconds, right?
no. So it's, so the whole package, the whole video is just delayed by 30 seconds. Like everything is delayed to the participant by 30 seconds. So that's everything that you say in conjunction with the image. It's all together, but there's a 30-second delay to reaching the
Everything in here is going to be real time, synchronized.
Yes.
Everything he does and you do will be in real time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's the end part where we transition to questions that there may be a delay.
But we'll just continue through, and if we already have question, I like
Well-
the idea of already having maybe like a question, like a typical
Oh, yeah, we'll
question.
have questions.
Somebody could ask it,
Yeah.
in this room, like it came up. Meanwhile, that will keep the conversation going and allow them time to then start asking their questions. Because we'll have to wait about 30 seconds from that last thing that you've said to saying any questions? So, but I'd like to know for that initial switch between your own intro, getting into the slides, having like maybe like what your last sentence is, so I know like what is the last thing that you talk about in that opening
Well,
motion, and then I'll know, okay, let me switch over now. That way you don't have to say like, or you could always say, and so let's start the, let me tell you what we've done, and then I can go and switch. So, what's gonna happen? You have me?
yep.
So, blah, 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 blah.
Hi, I'm Barry Ronan, President and Chief Executive Officer of the Western Maryland Health System.
That's good. Don't give your spiel.
Okay, I'll continue. And this webinar is being presented by the Entrepreneurial Studies class at, huh?
I'm already gonna give that.
You're going to, oh, that's what you're going to
Yeah.
Okay. A little bit of background on what we have done at the Western Maryland Health System before we tell you about our journey. We've been doing this since fiscal year 2011. We were one of 10 hospitals that was approached by the Health Services Cost Review Commission. That's important to make sure that folks realize that we are a rate-regulated state. So quite honestly, the conversion was done a little easier because of that fact. But we, in fact, have been doing this, as I said, since fiscal year 2011. We've made the complete conversion from fee-for-service or volume-based care delivery to value-based care delivery. And then it's important to note, January of 2014, the remainder of all Maryland hospitals went on a similar delivery model, and that actually occurred January of 2014.
Is that, when you say that, is that when you
Yeah.
screen up? Okay. Good?
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to go back to, okay. I'm gonna control the slide, so I just need to.
You can put that slide up and then just very briefly, and then just go right to the next slide. As part of our value-based care delivery journey, it began actually, as I said, in 2011. We obviously had a number of challenges in getting that care delivery model up, but I will tell you, in the summer of 2013, we had a visit by the Secretary of Health for the state of Maryland, who was very impressed with what he saw here. And then subsequent to that, he was contacted by the New York Times to do an article on healthcare in Maryland. And he had suggested that the reporter call us at the Western Maryland Health System, which we in fact agreed to do an interview. So we did about an hour and a half interview with the reporter. And it was interesting. At the end, I said, am I going to have to revise my resume, because I can't recall a story when a CEO from a hospital was reported upon favorably, and he said, no, this is going to be a really good story. And actually it was. It was about the whole concept of total patient revenue, which is value-based care delivery. There's a very poignant quote in the article, and it's this hard scrapple of a city at the base of the Appalachians makes for an unlikely hotbed of healthcare innovation. Yet Western Maryland Health System, the major hospital serving the poor and isolated region, is carrying out an experiment that could leave a more profound imprint on healthcare than President Obama's reforms. And it was that kind of set the tone for a little bit of notoriety for our health system. and the whole concept of total patient revenue or value-based care delivery. Next slide.
And actually,
I can see when you hit next.
I was going to say, but if you
Oh,
sit
okay.
over here, though, you can also stay synchronized
Yeah, that's
without
true. I can see.
any coordination.
I can like move. Well, no, because you're gonna have.
Well, but at the end, you can, if you sit where I'm sitting, you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
see the feed, you can
Mhm.
see, right?
Mhm.
So this would probably be the best chair for you.
Oh, you can just,
I can. I mean, I can see when you hit
you,
next.
when I hit,
Yeah,
I can.
you're
I can.
It's getting connected in.
I was looking, so I was getting distracted because I was like, oh, I hasn't responded. Because I don't think I can. Can I tell? I'm wondering if there's at any point where I can break up the monotony of the slides and just maybe go back to you for like a brief moment. Just kind of change of pace. Is there any point during the presentation where there's not a whole lot on the slide where I can switch to them seeing you talk?
well, then I would have to move my, what's it look like? Switch over. I need one of those TED Talk microphones.
Oh, yeah.
Are you moving around? You're staying stationary. I think that's why you need one of those,
Oh, yeah.
so you can walk around.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
So I don't think that's bad. I mean, I would probably. I mean, what do you?
No, you're right. Actually, you talk about moving around. I think, wouldn't you be more comfortable with standing and moving around? Yes, never know.
But I'm thinking like.
No, I've
That's not
actually
a
done
bad
this.
view.
I've done this from. I mean, usually I'll sit there and then everything is on the screen
Right.
in front of me.
I mean, that's not a bad.
No, and we'll clean up the back there, but
This is actually the best for lighting.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
getting the.
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna be great. But I'm thinking like somewhere in the middle of the presentation, just to not have the presentation in the screen for the webinar for the participants the entire time. Just at some point in the middle of the presentation when there might not be as much on the screen that they need to see at that moment, I could just give them a change of pace by switching back to you and then going back. Because it's a lot easier than, I mean, it's
All right, so
that easy.
why don't we look at this slide 4? Okay,
with all these.
with all that on there, right? Yeah. And then you can switch at that point.
I mean,
Okay,
it doesn't have to be too
so
early.
let's go back to the New York Times slide. I mean, you can maybe do it a couple of times.
Yeah, okay. Again,
So-
it's
so we-
simple, so it's
So we go through the New York Times slide and then we make the change. And
show that stuff,
that slide, yeah, show that stuff.
just show it briefly and then.
And I can say we've received a great deal of recognition over the last several years, which would include having approximately 15 to 20 health systems, hospitals, mostly from Maryland, actually coming for the same presentation. And then we will do a tour at our Center for Clinical Resources, which you would hear about in a few minutes, and the opportunity to ask questions. So it was actually an exceedingly valuable time from their perspective. We heard some very nice comments. A little bit about who we are. We built a new hospital 5 years ago, 275-bed hospital, consolidated 2 campuses previously into a new greenfield site, located in one of the poorest counties in one of the richest states. We have an 88-bed skilled nursing facility as part of the health system, but it's not on this campus. It's probably about 10 miles north of here. We're the region's largest employer. We also have 250 physicians on staff and about 90 advanced practice professionals. One of 9 trauma centers, as well as we in fact have the only open heart surgery program west of Baltimore. And we are now part of the Trivergent Health Alliance, which is 2 other health systems in adjoining counties.
Kevin didn't get his link, by the way.
You didn't do it?
Yeah, I did not.
I struggled between knowing when to switch between the first set the scene, what like talking about the background of the hospital, to the one with the pie chart.
Okay.
I didn't catch that.
So it's pretty fast, actually, because
Yeah.
it's only 2
Yeah, you only have 2 points.
points
so
on
I'll
that.
just
Yeah.
try to be clear about that.
You want me to be very pronounced in my?
Let me see here. Alright, I'll say. So he didn't get the email from me.
He says he did not.
Did you get the email?
I did. That's how we got it set up.
No. Did you get the personal email from from Ellie
No,
Ronan too?
I got 2 from webinars on here. I've not
You
gotten.
haven't got one from me?
Mm.
Alright, here we go. Let's try this. B buyers
Mhm.
Alright, if you have quick access to talking to him right now?
I'm
Yeah? Alright,
texting him now.
here, I would say, just, you want to just give him that. That's what I've been trying to send.
Okay.
That'll, if I click on that, he can register, become a participant. Once those emails finally get sent out and delivered. Just ignore them. Oh, there he is.
Oh.
He's on.
Can you guys hear me?
So the backup plan, if for some reason this fails, because we're not going to have that many people, so go to meetings could be an option.
We can do a go-to meeting under 25 minutes.
I mean, I was surprised. Mark Rule from MAGI told Lauren that the average number of participants they get in their webinars 7 to 9.
That's shocking.
Right.
But granted, he's only reaching out to
Maryland.
his 8,000 subscriber folks in Maryland. I mean, does he try and use a bigger network of folks? Yeah, I was kind of surprised too. I was thinking like 20.
But, and I think if we end up with more than that, you know, a backup plan is we lay down a credit card. It's probably $50 for a go-to webinar.
Well,
it is designed
I hope we're this way.
for above 25, right?
Yeah, that's what I was like. Oh, what if we get more than? I was thinking like 20, 25 was gonna be the number, and 25 was the cutoff. So I went for the big one. I was like, all right, the next highest was for 500 people. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, sure, let's do the 500, which is it was like close.
Well,
to
if you
$50.
notice yourself getting in that 25 range a few days beforehand, I can also call the go-to people and push them around a little bit and say, hey, because they're the same folks that do our Citrix, and all 3 hospitals do a lot of business with Citrix. It's like, hey, guys, just throw me one out. So,
That's good to know. That
and we can have that as a backup.
So are we on?
Yeah, so Kevin's on. I want to make sure he sees the slides. He says he hears us.
That's all good. Do we get to see Kevin?
No, we do
Darn.
not. So you can see the
He's
slides.
probably in his pajamas.
Yeah, he doesn't have a video feed.
It's Sunday pajamas. Very funny, he says.
All right, so that's actually good.
That was quick.
But that is quick, yeah. Yeah. Not much of a delay at all.
Well, now that Kevin's on, you want me to
Yeah, you want to do
some
the
of this?
transition again?
So,
Where do you want to start?
well, you just talked about the
Oh, I'm on slide 7. Oh.
the pie chart.
It's facts about WMHS.
Got it. Okay.
Do you want to do that? Just some of the facts concerning WMHS. We do about $330 million in operating revenue each year. 11,805 adult admissions per year. That's actually down from 15,500. 53,000 emergency department visits, and that's a significant decrease as well from probably about 58,000 about 3 years ago. We still do about 1,000 deliveries per year. Over 300 million in economic impact, and then over the last 4 years, $158 million in community benefit. Just for those folks who are not necessarily aware of where Cumberland might be, it's actually in the thin part of the state of Maryland between Pennsylvania and West Virginia. We serve 2 counties in Maryland, 2 counties in Pennsylvania, and 5 counties in West Virginia. Now, a little bit more about this, some of the specifics related to our journey. Just starting with what is total patient revenue, and I will tell you there are lots of nuances with the Maryland rate regulation system, as well as our new Medicare waiver. And if you have specific questions that possibly I can't answer, we can certainly put you in touch with the appropriate people to make that happen. But when you're looking at just what is total patient revenue, and as I said, it is value-based care delivery. I had mentioned earlier 10 hospitals in Maryland part of this demonstration project. Revenue is 100% fixed, no change based on fluctuations in volume or changes in service. We did, in fact, receive monies up front to assist with the transition. For example, I think in the first year we ended up adding 15 care coordinators. So it was actually very important to have some of those transition dollars to assist us. The whole basis for this is providing the most appropriate care in the most appropriate location. An important component is that many of our partners, many of our competitors are now our partners. And since we have aligned objectives, certainly keeping people healthy and out of the hospital. So it's actually, it's been an interesting journey, probably, to say the least. So that on the traditional care, this is a slide that we use that shows the acuity level on the left axis. The focus is the acute care hospital, the emergency department, and then the pre-acute or community care, post-acute recovery or rehab care were secondary in the traditional care delivery model. What that has evolved to is ensuring, again, the care is delivered in the most appropriate location. So many of those providers that were previously our competitors are now our partners in this process. I mean, so you have a lot more care being delivered in the home, and you can see the home anchoring each end of the axis there. And you have physician offices, pharmacies, skilled nursing facilities, our health department, and the list goes on. So it's a very different approach to care delivery. Transitioning, just some of the reasons and the background as to why we did what we did. Again, you're looking at an aging, declining population in some of the regions that are served by these TPR hospitals. We have expected volume changes, which were decreasing for a lot of reasons. Expected reductions in payment. As I mentioned earlier, the economic incentives offered by the Health Services Cost Review Commission. We thought it was a good opportunity to jump on the learning curve. The whole triple aim of healthcare reform was evolving, and certainly the future of healthcare delivery through the Affordable Care Act.
That's Kevin.
Pause there.
Hey, Kevin. Oh, you wear WVU jammies, huh?
That's it.
So are you getting all of this?
I am.
What's it?
It looks good on my end. The only thing that looks a little goofy, and I sent Bill a picture, I can see you, you're down at the bottom, and slides transition, everything is fine. There's a little box that has Lauren's name on it that doesn't have a photo or anything in it. If that weren't there, that would be better.
I think we had that a little bit on
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah, that's
that
because
showed up on the.
because I'm the one presenting the slides, so they're pushing just the slides up there, not showing me. Now, if I took the slides, if I stopped my screen sharing.
But Kevin, you're seeing that because you're in as a presenter.
No.
No.
He's
We
in
have-
as a participant.
Oh, as a participant. Oh, so what does that little box say?
It's just like this.
Yeah.
It has Lauren and the video of you.
It's a bit of a
Is it-
delay.
Where'd it go? When did we disconnect? Oh, there you are.
It did switch? Okay. That's, okay, so it was like 30.
So folks are going to see me.
Yeah, it has you and your laptop. I didn't realize that.
It's fine though. It's good to know that you'll be. I think that's actually better.
Okay.
Rather than they have the video. Just be mindful, don't like pick your nose or anything.
He's always very discreet whenever he does the pick.
The two-hand discreet pick. Okay. I think that's fine.
Okay.
You have your notes. I mean,
Yeah, no, that's as long as that's that's fine.
you're putting
I mean,
glasses on. I mean,
yeah.
just don't like you won't be able to move around or tell us to.
It looks fine from my end. And whenever you guys actually discarded everything, I mean, it looked fine. I mean, it's just under that little icon, spot it so I can see the slides, I can see him. I don't think it's a big deal at all.
Okay, that's good to know.
Sorry, let me go back to.
Mark, you said that I was normal as a presenter. The only thing was, maybe Bill, this is because I did it on the MacBook and downloaded the link for that plug-in or whatever I downloaded on Friday, Thursday, as a presenter, because he gave me an option, called me in the mornings, you know, I'm going to be seen by others. And when I first signed on, I had my camera on the MacBook and I turned it off.
What?
I gave him the link that you had sent me.
Uh-huh.
So, and it's like it turned into a presenter. Like whenever I first went in, I was a participant. That's why I was saying that window
Yeah.
was a participant window.
So we're
And
gonna.
then you did something, and like all of a sudden, I became a presenter. And maybe it
I think
made,
it's just me opening up, finally broadcasting.
Maybe.
Going live. So
So I think that was a
that's
bad
just-
link, the one that I sent you the first time, Kevin.
So it just hung up on me.
Oh, indeed.
That's not good.
just kill the whole thing, just let's start over and sign it again, just get back.
Okay. He has the. I'll have to give him a new link though. I don't know if.
Yeah, well,
Well, no, he can sign off. Like he can sign off and then sign back in using that link. Use that link to register. Then once he registers, it will send him a link to the webinar. Then that would be his avenue because that's what our participants will be doing.
did you get that, Kevin?
Right. Yeah, I didn't know. I see where my email came back. So should be if I just go to that email and then register back to somebody else.
Yeah.
And then they'll send him, once he's done registering, they'll send him a link to the webinar. Click
Okay.
on that, and he'll be a participant, not a presenter.
I'd probably just close the window and reopen it.
Okay, he's off.
So how did you get disconnected?
All of a sudden, it just said the video. Maybe just. Well, remember, I'm on the guest Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'm sitting here, thinking too, that maybe.
So that truncated link you sent me, the shooter link.
Yeah.
Is one was the presentation. When I did that, it prompted me to give my name,
Yep.
my email address, which I did.
Yep.
Mail this to me, and I just called back.
Okay.
And let's see if there was one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
That's right.
Are you still seeing the little thumbnail?
Just a full screen of one.
I just switched it over to you now.
Or you should be seeing very
Here.
momentarily.
That's why it was real time. That's why there was no. We were like, oh, there's no delay.
Yeah.
It was because he was in as a panelist presenter.
Because I'm listening to you all day, I think all four webinars right with you.
It's better than.
Okay,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, that's about 30 seconds.
About 30 seconds.
I just switched it over to the slide deck. So
And she just switched it over to slide that, in case you didn't hear that.
I mean, quite honestly, with this in front of me, they can think I'm doing the slides.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can't though.
No. All right, are we good?
Yeah, an Ethernet jack. Ethernet jack.
Yeah. Right? Or is that connect?
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
that's what that looks like.
They do recommend doing
Yeah, no
hardwire.
hardware. As I'm sitting here thinking, it's like, boy, we should hardwire this. I'm actually thinking having one of these laptops would be better instead of, like Jocelyn was pointing to.
Well, we're gonna need.
I mean, unless you want to put yourself on the screen, and that's pretty much the way you're going to have to do it. I'll just switch seats. Because I actually ran the video equipment right off the Mac Thursday when I tested it after dropping it. So, I mean, we could just plug it right into yours. I could get a hard line wire to your Mac. I mean, this works. I'm not looking to
No, but I don't want to have,
Overload.
stir things up.
Yeah.
but-
I want to have it as clean as possible.
I think that'll be fine. I think. Wait. No. We're gonna need two, just because I'd like it's it's easier to switch between person talking
Okay,
and the
yeah.
presentation. Otherwise, I would have to go back and forth between the video and the presentation on the same panelist, if that makes sense. So like right now,
you're switching.
yeah, it's really easy for me to switch between like the
So let's say-
presentation and the video.
So in this case, it would be you showing yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's where I would come in right now, but I'm pushing the slides to the presentation right now, showing there. Now, if I were to be on the same computer with owning the slides and his video feed, I would have to go back and forth between. Now,
See, instead of having a picture of him separately, it would be a picture of him and you screen.
yeah, it actually would be, and I would have, yeah, exactly. And I would go back and forth between presenting the slides and showing him.
I mean, if you want, we could try real quick just to see. I mean, this is why we're here.
Okay.
This would be the time to experiment.
Yeah, that's true.
You find your.
Would it be easier for me to just go and log in? I mean,
Oh, we could try that too. It should work fine from your.
yeah.
We'll just have to pick the right audio and video feed.
Just worried about, like, I would have to turn off my camera. It would know to go to this camera.
I don't think it would by default. Wherever the settings are, I don't know if it would be there or where you turn up, yeah, the control. If you go back to there, is there a setting?
Oh, jeez. Still picking up.
Setting. Yeah, I don't see where to change it.
I really think we'll be okay. I would say have mine, because I'm the one setting up and pushing the webinar. I mean, it's all feeding off of my login.
Mhm.
So if I can have the strong internet
Well, I
connection,
think
then
what we'll
be
do is
good.
we'll make sure they both have
Okay.
a hardwire.
We good? We good?
Should be. I see the slides back up.
Mhm.
Kevin, you see the slides? Okay, it should be
Yeah, I just switched
flipping
it.
momentarily.
Is this off?
Yeah, I don't have.
Oh, it certainly is.
Okay, I go to slides, managing under IU-based.
Yes.
a few. Before we get going back to it, facts about Western Maryland Health System. Can we have like a formatting change on that slide? What does your slide look like? The facts about Western Maryland Health System. I don't know what slide number it is.
So,
The
yeah, I think it's because it's in PowerPoint.
Okay.
So
Can we make it like?
Sure.
Okay. Back to managing under.
Yeah, I had to
BBCD
jump
model.
out and jump back in for to recognize the camera.
Okay, got him. Okay, so you won't be on. So if we could find another, so it would be good for us to transition to you, your face, when we're on that slide number 4. And I'm thinking if there's maybe one more
we'll
time.
get another slide. All right, so since Kevin is now, when we were doing this before, Kevin was on as a panelist. Now he's
As a
on.
participant. So there's going to be probably a 30-second delay.
So I'm gonna run through some of these.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Kevin, can you hear me okay?
Okay.
Through the, I'm gonna mute this.
So we're gonna run through some more of the slides just to get a sense kind of how it is that you're hearing all of it.
I'm presenting right now, managing under a value-based care. Okay.
So it's very important actually to engage consultants to assist us in this process, actually to get our governing board to understand the change in the healthcare delivery model to value-based care. And so as part of these board presentations, it was important for them to understand the whole concept, that it was reducing admissions and readmissions, providing care in the most appropriate location, as we've talked about, creating stronger patient engagement, improving the alignment, payment alignment with our physicians, that we are in fact reinvesting our savings in our community as well as in our health system. And actually an important process was adding certified application counselors for the health exchange in Maryland to get these patients signed up. And that was actually a benefit as well.
Okay, hold on. Kevin's not hearing anything.
Are we playing off of my microphone? Was I just muted? I thought it was muted before.
Yeah, you would have to be muted. We definitely don't want to.
All right, Kevin. I think I may not have had the settings right on this. Go ahead and try it again.
So I'm on slide 15, so which is managing under value-based care delivery keys to success. Okay. A lot of work went into getting our community partners to understand the change in our healthcare delivery model. There were actually trust issues because we have a history of competition with many of these same providers. So working collaboratively became key, focusing on better community access for our providers as well as our patients, increasing health and wellness activities on a regional basis. And again, the partners became key in that whole process. Reducing utilization in the emergency department, inpatient observation, as well as ancillary, and that actually continues to be an area of focus today. And then certainly care delivery, and I'll talk a little bit about our Center for Clinical Resources in a moment, and then introducing motivational interviewing as part of our interaction with these patients, primarily our high utilizers or the sickest of the sick. This was actually our challenge. Reorganizing the delivery system is unbelievably resource intensive.
So I see input coming through there, but you're saying you're not hearing anything?
my end. I've got my speakers turned up and unmuted. And
Yeah, we're not getting any feedback like we used to either, but I see it picking up the voice.
on my setting, I have it on.
Great idea, Trump.
Whatever it's worth, that privacy area is on too.
Okay. So is there, I wonder if you need to bring that back, bring that up. Because I can see, as we talk, I can see the audio is picking it up. But it's almost like it's not getting.
Open tries on here. If I send my webinar link, if I just forward that link over to my iCloud account, I just wondered if I signed in on my other machine, if it's there.
No, I think, because I tried to move the Logitech equipment over to Lauren's laptop, and since we moved it back, this has started.
When's it? Switch back to. Yep. Talking.
This could be fun. Slide 16.
You're gonna talk a little bit.
No, I'm going to talk a little bit about, you can put the slide up, and then I'm going to say that this was extremely challenging under value-based care delivery and getting our employed staff as well as our medical staff to understand how we were going to be doing business going forward. And that we eventually held mandatory training for our employees, and then engaged our physicians to a much greater extent.
So I'll put it up there long enough for them to quote. Switch to. Then again, out of the bottom. The same.
Where?
The bottom line. Like your quote. What if there's like, and then switch to your. Shoot, it's your quote. Might as well have you go in the picture. Okay. So before when I had it on took it off, but
Right.
And put it back up. Oh, I should put it back on. So I was wondering how much. I was on mute.
See, I see input. It's almost like it's not using. Yeah, I was wondering if it's set to mute. What if you? See, as we talk, oh, now you can see it. Hey, Kevin, can you hear us now? Or 30 seconds from now? Yeah. Not the boss of me. All right, maybe a little bit. Because I wasn't seeing, were you seeing that before? Oh, you were?
Yeah. My FaceTime. Now I go to my away and I see
Yeah.
So no audio.
Well,
Right now.
but I think I messed it up.
Oh, here.
I mean, we've not, definitely not do that. Right.
Well,
And that was me. I just
Okay.
unmuted myself.
Yourself.
um,
I mean, we know the configuration we need. I just need to add 2 data jacks in here.
so this is 2 o'clock on Friday.
I'm thinking,
Yeah, you're gonna.
want to set it. Oh, I'll be here. I'm gonna wake up Friday morning. Just drive.
So we should have folks here just to make sure that we're all set.
And I can be here by earlier. But I figured.
my right works. Whatever we got to refigure, make sure.
Well, no, it was working well until I messed it up, Kevin. So, I mean, from a technical perspective, this doesn't bother me as much because I think it was introduced. But I do want to test it with the hardwire just to make sure that no funny gotchas with that. And
So you want to start this at 11 o'clock on Friday?
Yeah.
yeah,
Are you going to be here? When are you coming back? Thursday?
No, I got class Thursday.
Oh, so you could drive up Friday morning.
available 11. So whenever you get here,
Sure. So,
you can throw the test.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll get a
I'll put
sense
it- I'll put it
of
on.
who it is that we're going to need to, and if there's anything else that we need to have here from the group that we had the other night.
we may want to. Tree. Marco Rubio. Squeeze.
By that looking at right now, it's our challenge. Kind of fuzzy.
Can you read the writing?
I can read it, but it's fuzzy.
Change
But
it.
it's not the whole screen because when I'm reading like total elapsed time on the webinar at the bottom, it says live and all that stuff. That stuff's good. The webinars on there.
Well, that's something we can test when we get a hardwire on Lauren's machine because she's on the guest network, which is rate limited. So, you know, that's also one of the reasons we want to have a hardwire. If you can get a gigabit link instead of, I don't know if it's 1 or 2 meg, we give guest wireless, but that
I switched.
Well, you switch to the video feed if you want to compare
Okay.
that. Did you have it running full screen previously, Kevin? Because the full screen one definitely looks sharp. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Right now, the image is not a clear image.
So, here's what's interesting about that too, is that we can have all the bandwidth in the world, but if our participants have a lower bandwidth, or let's say, maybe Dren is watching something on Netflix or whatever, and your bandwidth as a participant is impacted, it'll decrease the quality for that particular participant. No, I'm not. I'm saying it could be. I'm just saying it's part of it.
That's why, I mean, that's why they said for that, make sure the audio is good throughout. Like, that's the, deal with that.
And the audio doesn't take a whole lot of. Yeah, that's definitely not as sharp as what we had last week. Looking at the video feed.
Like I said here, running here on my end was fine. I'm back on Wi-Fi with FaceTime, not on Netflix, that kind of stuff. So.
It is. Yes.
Well, the thing, because like I said, other aspects of
yeah, that's what it's on. It's video. And my video is fine. Like connecting to
His internet has something.
Brian?
No, he's Atlantic Broadband.
You guys have good solid. It's your service.
So I wonder about FaceTime stuff. You're absolutely.
You see, you look just a titch foggy to me, but still great quality.
I even cleaned up.
So when are you planning to send the links out to participants?
They already have them.
Oh, they do.
Yep. As soon as they register, they get that link.
This really happened tested a couple times. We're trying to test that.
Yeah, we can certainly do that. I could throw up a GoToMeeting instance.
I'm just curious. You had to switch everybody over and send them a notification, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's smart.
Try it. I can send it.